line up for you this evening. We have Swanee Astrid. We have Madeline Rose, Aubrey King, is that correct? Sorry. Oliver Ray, Ryan Hoge, I'm Noland, and Nico as well. And thank you to Bird and Beckett for having us. Whenever coming through San Francisco, I like to come here, and we hope it will be here until the end of time. And just want to plug the Naropa Summer Writing Program, which many of these poets have alchemized their way through. We're not making any official announcements, but we are saying in a subversive way, if the campus of historic proportions is important to you at Naropa, this is the time to get there this summer. And many beat poets and Buddhist luminaries and controversiarians have walked on those. So my plan this summer is just, my project is I'm going to photograph every blade of grass. And there's a lot of grass. Bios. I don't do bios, but I asked everyone for bios, so. Swanee Astrid is a martial artist and poet living in Berkeley, California. Her first book, Immaculate Constellation, is forthcoming in 2027. In the Margaret Randall book series by Casa Urraca Press. Originally from Bakersfield, Madeline Rose Hernandez is a poet and teacher living in Berkeley. Was the Anselm Hollow Graduate Fellow at the Jack Kerouac School of Disembodied Poetics. Oh, can anyone record the audio of this event? If anyone can, on their phone. For the R. You got it. For the archive. Madeline wants to bring the nothingness back into words. Nice. Aubrey King is a trans poet living on Ohlone, I'm sorry, did I say it correctly? Land, San Francisco. They received an MFA at the Jack Kerouac School of Disembodied Poetics, where they were the Allen Ginsberg Graduate Fellow. You can find their poems in Noir Sauna, Poetry, Warm Milk, among others. Nico Colibri approaches her work with gentle curiosity and a deep love for poetics, pedagogy, and lived inquiry. As an MFA candidate and Allen Ginsberg Fellow at Naropa University, she weaves social critique, contemplative practice, and personal narrative into her writing. In 2024, she was published in the anthology Screaming at America, and some of her earliest pieces found a home in the Michantli zine from the Writer's Block workshop, where she first felt encouraged to trust her voice. Who else? Ryan is a sometimes poet from San Francisco. Oliver Ray, where is he? A poet, musician, composer. I'm riffing. Long-time friend to many beat poets, worked in Patti Smith's band many years, and is the owner of Emmett, and is, in my opinion, one of the greatest living poets in America, but that's just my personal bias. And I have no bio, but it's very good to be here. Did I forget anyone? No. Okay, that's enough. Thank you. We do have some broadsides for sale. We're tired because we were doing the Ginsberg Centennial last night, so you may hear some of that work tonight. And thank you for having us. Who's first? Ryan's first.
Well, I'm gonna sit, I guess. Hi, can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. I mean, I can. I just didn't want to move it for everyone else.
I'm on my way anyway.
Thanks.
Doesn't want to extend any further than that.
No, should be good.
Should be good.
Great. Thanks. My name's Ryan. I'm going to read just one poem to get us started. And it's been a while since I've read it, so I'm going to be reading it. But this is called Life Saving. The course at the YMCA in no way prepares you for the shock of icy dark water closing behind you as you swim frantically, seeking with hands outstretched the smooth skin, hoping you feel warmth, fingers groping for the timid boy who was afraid of leeches. The light fades to a murky green glow above you, split by a single beam, sneaking through the shifting surface. The voices above sound like whispers behind a locked door. Large shapes like looming black angels tease you from the darkness. Something big past your right hand, maybe a car once, now maybe a tomb. There's no boy inside. A flash of movement catches your eye, a rusted chain that anchors the floating dock, shifting under the weight of nervous feet. Every mass of weeds looks like a child resting limply on the bottom. Your lungs scream and suck, and it feels like the entire lake is pounding through your veins. The child is nowhere. You kick toward the twisted surface and clog, grasping into the air. The light burns like chlorine despite looming thunderclouds. A quick glance at the shivering faces on the dock, and shaking your head no, you flip forward in a surface dive. A small splash, and then nothing as the dark water cuts off sound and light. Surrendering sight, you grope for something, anything. The memory of a face seen once, a face you will see always if you do not find the boy. He'll find you, in dark hallways in your sleep, eyes glimmering from deep in the eyes of everyone you will ever love, and it's your life that slips silent beneath the surface. Breaking the mirror, you swallow a breath of air you cannot taste and turn your back to the waiting children. You dive again into a cold eternity of water. That's it. Thanks. I think Oliver is next.
Hi. I'm going to read an essay tonight about the Strait of Hormuz. It's called The Gate of the Light God, or a Mazda, the Christ being in the Strait of Hormuz. There's a narrow strip of water between Iran and Oman, roughly 21 miles wide at its tightest point, through which flows approximately 1/5 of the world's seaborne oil and a significant fraction of its liquefied natural gas. Strategists call it the world's most important choke point. Geographers call it the Strait of Hormuz. What almost no one remembers is that this waterway bears the name of a god, and not just any god, but the supreme deity of Zoroastrianism, the ancient Persian religion that gave Western civilization some of its deepest spiritual architecture. Hormuz is a corruption of Ormuzd, itself a Middle Persian rendering of Ahura Mazda, the Lord of Wisdom, the great Sun Spirit, the wise Lord of Light. That petroleum, the distilled residue of ancient organic life, the fuel of materialism itself, must pass through a strait named after the god of spiritual light, is one of the stranger ironies available to the contemplative mind. The Austrian mystic Rudolf Steiner devoted a remarkable body of lectures, preserved in the Rudolf Steiner archive in Dornach, Germany, to Ora Mazda's significance in the evolution of human consciousness. Steiner's point of departure is Zarathustra, the ancient Persian prophet who founded Zoroastrianism perhaps 4,000 years ago, where the Indian sages of his era taught disciples to withdraw from the outer world as illusion, as Maya. Zarathustra made the opposite gesture. Look outward, he said. Look at the sun, but do not stop at the physical light. Behind the radiant body of the sun lives a vast spiritual being, the great aura, the Ora Mazda. Just as the human, the all-encompassing spiritual sun behind the physical one. Just as the human spirit might be called the little aura, a personal luminous field, Ora Mazda is the great aura, the all-encompassing spiritual sun behind the physical one. Zarathustra's revolutionary teaching was that matter is not the enemy of spirit, but its garment, and that if you truly understand the physical, you see through it to the divine. This insight carried a moral corollary. Opposing Ora Mazda in the cosmos is Angra Mainyu, better known in Steiner's usage as Ahriman, the spirit of darkness, the principle of falsehood and materiality, who would have humanity believe that the physical world is all there is. Ahriman does not tempt through passion or ecstasy. That is Lucifer's domain. Ahriman tempts through reduction, through statistics, mechanism, and the dogma that only what can be measured deserves to be called real. In Zarathustra's cosmos, every human moral act participates in this cosmic battle between Ora Mazda and Ahriman, between the light that integrates and the darkness that diminishes. Steiner's most astonishing claim, and the hinge around which his entire Christology turns, is that Ora Mazda, the Vedic Vishnu Karman, the Egyptian Osiris, the Hebrew Yahweh revealed in the burning bush, and the Christ of Golgotha are all names for the same cosmic being. Excuse me. It was just getting exciting. Are all names for the same cosmic being. So basically they're saying, Steiner's saying that the spirit that manifested in Ora Mazda, it also manifested in Vishnu Karman, and Osiris, and Yahweh, and finally in the Christ of Golgotha. And that the spirit is, it's just different stages of the spirit's approach to earth, these manifestations. So from deep within the spiritual cosmos, the sun being was always present, but not yet incarnate. Different cultures glimpsed it through their most advanced initiates. The rishis saw it as beyond their sphere. Zarathustra identified it, dwelling as the sun itself, and prophesied its earthly descent. Moses received its name as the great I Am, and finally it incarnated in the body of Jesus of Nazareth and passed through death and resurrection at Golgotha. That event for Steiner was the central act of all earthly evolution. The sun spirit entered the earth and transformed its very spiritual substance. Zarathustra spoke to his chosen pupils of Ora Mazda, who dwelt spiritually behind the sunlight, and said, behind the sun is something not yet united with the earth, but which will one day stream forth into earthly evolution and descend to earth. So from Rudolf Steiner lecture. This is not syncretism in the casual sense, a blurring of tradition for comfort. It is a precise evolutionary claim. Each civilization received exactly the revelation appropriate to its stage of development. The Persians, as farmers and warriors engaged with the physical world, needed a teaching that sanctified matter rather than fled it, and Ora Mazda gave them that, a framework in which tilling the earth, cultivating crops, and resisting the lying power of Ahriman were all sacred acts. The spiritual was not elsewhere, it was here, embodied in light and soil and honest labor. Steiner situates Ora Mazda within a vast arc of three cosmic incarnations: Lucifer in human flesh during the third millennium before Christ, the Christ incarnation at the turning point of time, and the coming incarnation of Ahriman in the West within the third millennium after Christ. Lucifer, the light bearer in his fallen mode, gave humanity premature spiritual illumination, inflaming mystical and fanatical tendencies. Ahriman has been steadily tightening his grip since the Renaissance, encouraging the worldview that matter alone is real. The Christ stands between them as the balancing principle, and humanity's task is to consciously hold that equilibrium. Steiner's Christ is not meek, but the supreme equilibrist of cosmic forces, the being who, in the famous Dornoch sculpture, stands with one hand redirecting Lucifer's flight and the other restraining Ahriman's crystallizing power. What makes the Hormuz connection so charged is that petroleum, the substance flowing through the strait, is in esoteric terms a deeply Ahrimanic force. It is the concentrated residue of ancient life, hardened into matter, burned to drive mechanical civilization. The industrial economy built on oil is precisely the kind of world Ahriman would design: quantified, efficient, spiritually opaque, and deeply addictive. That this economy's jugular vein passes through a strait named after the principle opposing Ahriman, named literally after the sun spirit who would become the Christ, suggests something that resists easy categorization as mere coincidence. The name Hormuz traveled a long road from ancient Persia. Ora Mazda became Ormazd in Middle Persian Pahlavi, then Hormuzd, then Hormuz, the name of a medieval island kingdom that controlled trade between India, China, and the Persian Gulf. Marco Polo visited twice. The Portuguese seized it in 1507. A joint Persian-English force expelled them in 1622. Empires came and went, but the name persisted on every map in the world, the name of the Lord of Light, attached to the world's most strategic commercial passage. Today, with Iran and regional powers regularly invoking the strait's closure as a geopolitical weapon, the waterway oscillates between its two mythic poles, the light it is named for and the darkness that would use it as a lever. Steiner might have observed that this is precisely the nature of the Ahrimanic age, that the most sacred geographical names become attached to the most materially consequential sites, as if history itself were leaving a coded commentary on the spiritual stakes beneath the surface of events. The strait named after the god of order and wisdom has become the hinge on which global disorder swings. What Zarathustra proclaimed across the ages, that the spiritual is present in the physical, that matter is the garment of the divine, finds a strange contemporary echo here. The question Steiner would likely press is not geopolitical, but inward. Will humanity approach this vulnerable point with the consciousness that its name demands? Can the gate of the light God be navigated with wisdom rather than merely worships? The ancient Persian prophet saw the whole universe as a moral drama. Standing at the Strait of Hormuz, it's not difficult to see why. Thank you.
Can I stand? Can I? Should I hold it? No, I can't. That's okay, I'm short enough. I think that's good. If you can hear me, it's good. Hi, I'm Aubrey. Thank you for No Land for organizing, and Bird and Beckett for having us. I'm going to read some poems. This is a new one called Assigned Alto at Birth, Idiokinesis Study. What am I if not no one, this body for now, for her, for here, not mind, thought, or bodily function here in this room, but now voice, my voice where breath hits meaning, orange column of air spirals, or metallic liquid, mercury churns from pit of pelvis up to crown. My rattling mask, song, confluent vibration, and emotional mastication of the skin on my face. Ossicles recognize speech. I ask to switch voice parts from tenor to alto. I want to feel the break from chest to head voice again, but the back of my throat hurts from singing or sucking dick. I can't be sure is lung capacity, diaphragm strength, shutting the fuck up my whole life. Stunts the wheels of expression, the source of sound is the soft palate. No. Vowel, no. I want to be a baritone, the highest of the basses, now noise, the hum of home or homeopathy. My first choir conductor used to say, imagine stacking a sheet of paper on top of another when repeating a note or sustaining a pitch. Instead, I start taking testosterone. Muttering my breath again, no one can hear my neatly folded speech, creasing around the catches and grooves of silent sounds, come clear in a he, in a head voice, untangled from gender, as my voice will inevitably change. I'd like to keep my range. Thank you. This is an old one, but like a new one. I've never read it. New shit. But it borrows Semi. It borrows its form from a Douglas Kearney essay. Okay, incantation. Quotation. The loop is a circle that accumulates. Disintegration loop, metaphysical crackle. Without echo, there is no art. A poet I admire once told me that if they're stuck writing, they just repeat. Anxiety, anxiety. Cradle of repetition. Repetition is the essence of poetry. Boredom as the engine of uncanny. Love without hope. Refrain. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Riff. I can don't it. I can't don't it. I can't don't it. I can don't it. I can don't it. I can don't it. Icon don't do it. Icon don't do it. Icon don't do it. Incandescent. Incandescent. It's incandescent. It incandescent. I can descend. I can descend it. I can descend. I can descend. I can descend. I can end the end can end the can can't end the can can't then and then can end the end. Loop. I spent most of the session trying to figure out why my key repeat won't work. I had to type out each letter one by one. I usually start with paper and pencil to go slow. I chose to start with keys for their speed. My wrist always hurts when I'm writing because I don't hold the pencil properly. Repetition is pain. The keys, a kind of piano, the typist's rhythm, right, middle, right, index, left, middle, left, third. Refrain. I play myself, I play myself, I play myself. Work. Wiltingly persists while the soft taps and digital horns loop in and out of my ordinary ferocity. Lisa Robertson says, "We want to know how to let flesh be heard in our work. Ordinary ferocities are nice. We also want to know, do our loops produce something? Douglas Kearney says, the loop is a circle that accumulates. What blur can I achieve in my loop? What residue of mind-body is present here for you to make it worth your while, worthy of whiling away? I wilt at the word. My will to work wilts. I wilt work. I will wilt. Revulsion. I write everything in my planner as an action to be completed, to be checkmarked, struck through. How many times have I written read, write, work, meeting, read 7, write 8, work 16, meeting 13 in the past month? I wonder about the unit of production, the worth of work times time. Is it a letter to a lover? Is it a word of God? Is it a sentence to death? Refrain, a chorus and a curb to sing again cessation, the melody everyone knows, a hum, a void. Work. In winter, we hope the past summer sustains us. Revision. I love with hope. This one is super new. I read it to Madeline today, and she was like, you should read it. So here I am. It doesn't have a title. If you keep becoming inside me, will I come too? I am an ocean of expectation, drowning in T-gels, sperm arrive to the inconclusion. Prescribed hormones and unsubscribed longing, or rather a dumpster of expectorant, empty pill packs, dead tulips, plastic suppositories. I identify with pre-cum, solidity, melting. You are beautiful, aided, nothing or a concentrate. I am better with cream and sugar, perhaps. Becoming, I am unfazed by the fingers inside me. Became, I am strapped, and you gag on it. I reject the overt symbolism of sexuality, especially of whole and of worship. to be faceless, almost humanless, a plaything, to be the sun and sky, night and stars, to be your passing comic relief or pitiable donation, to be your kink-forward connection, to be your headless grinder torso, to be always down for anything, to be hard to pin down, to be present, to be absent. If I cannot have many figs, I will take many fags. Thank you for ignoring my message. Thank you for leaving me for your crush. Thank you for being a narcissist. Thank you for never coming to a reading. Thank you for your brown leaves startled falling. Thank you for loving me when I didn't love you. Thank you for knowing you would never have romantic feelings for me. Thank you for finding me on the internet. Thank you for keeping Sunday evening open. Thank you for calling me cumrag. Thank you for keeping me at a distance. Thank you for letting me tag along. Thank you for listening. Thank you for making eye contact when we sing. Thank you for making eye contact when you're inside me. Thank you for bothering me while I'm writing this poem. Thank you for waiting for me. Thank you for skipping your doctor's appointment. Thank you for getting treatment. Thank you for showing me Isabella Rossellini's green porno. Thank you for dying slowly. Thank you for reminding me of who I used to be. Thank you for reminding me that people leave forever all the time. And then, thank you. This is the last one. I wrote this in a little chicken coop cabin residency, and I was having a really hard time starting a fire. It's called Topping the Wood Burning Stove. Thank you. That's it. Oh, cavernous cast iron hollows, I fill you ambitiously because I am so cold in a chicken coop cabin. Without thinking, I grab the biggest log I can find and combust. Spark eludes me. I blow and blow until my mind wisps into starlight frosty. I am thinking about survival. Your heat hinges on my making it through the night. Fire! I'm ready to burn, unbillowed by my blowing. I am vexed by the setting sun, darkness descending, desperate for a whisper of your smoke. Handling kindling, fingering twigs, handfuls of leaf litter, paper, small branches, fingering twigs, little leaves, cutting cardboard, splitting wood, shredding newspaper, blistering bark, clicking the lighter over and over, nothing, click, nothing, click, nothing, click, nothing, click, flame, click, damn it. I want you to burn alive. I want you to burn, baby, lit for longer now, slipped into spire, lay down a log on the lit branch, burn, bitch, blow, blaze, stay with me, I'm here. Covered in ash for you, dead set on your crackling duress, wield the fire prod, prop up your burning collapse, attentive and slow. So slow. Brushing your embers, the heat all over my face, the red glow in my eyes, a moth for your orange flicker, lingering for the inferno I made. You're so fucking hot, scorching on 1,000 suns. I can sleep here, I can live here, I can last the night. Thank you all. Maybe I'll sit.
Can everyone hear me okay? Thank you for being here. I feel like it's so special to just have all of these Naropa people here. And yeah, just thank you, Noland, Oliver, Nico, Swanee, Aubrey. I'm sorry. Ryan, nice to meet you. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'll read a few poems. And so this first one is based off an I Ching hexagram, which is a divination text, a Chinese divination text, and the hexagram that I got was 47, oppression, and so the image is of a lake, so that kind of shows in the poem, and a quote from this hexagram is, "Everywhere people are oppressed and held in restraint by inferior men." So it's called Undecided Day, Oppression. Praise this undecided day where I have a purpose. If you think that's some sort of blessing, it's not. It means an obligation to see a very specific thing through, because instead of the receptive force of coming spring, the image is of fate, and it means you stake your life following your will. So instead of being oppressed under a green tree, the future suddenly grows brighter. An instant is a presence, animating slight energy of sight. I can extend the line far beyond the horizon and listen to an equal hum of motion. Body of cloud shifts in and out of focus. I lie on the bed, avoiding life, yet life absorbs me. This next one is kind of long, and I guess also borrows from a hexagram. So the title is Excess is about extraordinary situations and unusual means, or getting entangled in excess is the coincidence of wind and language. The wind makes love to the curtain. We had just gone swimming. Sometimes you'd be here all day long, and you'd read or cook something, and I'd watch. You'd make a gesture with fingertips touching, as if you were reaching for something, the right word. The state began with an awareness of distance, a curve of the road, the back, however irrational or insignificant, and permeable to all winds. In contrapuntal music, one melodic progression is introduced before the previous one is completed. The pulse wants life. Surround the sound with isolated words, language of, yeah, I know, but orange lily parking ticket. Waiting in the next body of water, pool, our bodies make laps. And we avoid rhetoric, avoid speech, because it becomes an accomplice to iterations of love and violence and torture. If you are me and I am you, figurative language, metaphor, illusion, all the shadows of speech, you have a splendid dream preceding poetry. The wind blew slightly in with suffocate intensity, looking for God in the ordinary. Alone, I can think what I want, because no one hears me, sees me dissociating in Kylie Jenner clickbait. When there is an occasion to be elsewhere, I often prefer daydream. Wind after wind, trying to pin down a theory of negation language on the ride to work wasn't enough time. The negative signifies division. With respect to vocal sound, Affirmative enunciation is prior to the negative because it's simpler. To be is to be before property, before the boundary of you and me. Clouds departed from here to there. You were stretched out before my absence of words, the sand, what kind of boat. It's not a matter of rehabilitating pure language because we know purity is questionable. Giving in, I think it's out of order. Giving in. I might be missing a page. Giving in, giving up a body, exhuming a body. I want to be next to your body. Assuming a body is like exhuming a body or ingesting a body. It was a map, last updated in December. The map, they said, was still accurate. They said, we don't target directly. We target morphosyntactically. Distracted by the slashing of civil services, I'm terrible with small talk, completely ignoring conversations. Artificial intelligence is to blame for the recent bombing of a school. Truth, they say, is far more troubling than it seems. We're gathered here today to witness the ending of American pastimes. Do we continue to build our project around American primacy? Do we continue to build our love around the turning of the clock? In the zone, with a shot clock expiring, the offense is automatic. The end is confrontation. To displace means to be meaning making, bending time and space. I, a beat, I, beaten down, off, beat, displace beat. Beat is bound to fuck up space and employment. Beat is fundamental to every capitalist means of production, to all the circuits, metrics, beginning with the worker putting curtains on the leaves. We think we're justified in claiming home, self, body, but the justification isn't right. What we claim isn't good just because we claim it is. A state's existence isn't the function of right or rights, but its existence is a function of might that appeals to a logic of might. Somehow I'm losing the paper. But God displays love, not by a show of power, but up from below. In that space opens every molecule of an instant. I am a branch, you break, stilted destiny, still aligned with you, no mass. I want language close to music, which means learning more about language and music. To ingest your body, go beside you gently as you. Poems come out of wooden frames surrounded by wood. I surround the sound away from the singular. I want to construct sleep around you, make our direction exist independent of all other directions. I know poems can make disparate timelines coincide, insisting there is a love that never tires and where nothing is impossible. I just have one more. Somehow the papers were in order the whole time, and I just was getting confused because they were double-sided. Otherwise blue. Want to be closer to you who are close to me. commemorate grass by sitting beside each other on grass. A California scrub jay wings coalesce, then interject. To be a pair in isolation, nurturing a nest, I thought, together. Build thick-walled cup of twigs and grass lined with roots. The nest happens just slightly above the ground, sometimes a little higher. I wonder what's on your mind and see what it does to me to wonder. So we agree then that it's good to be a member of one's own mind. This otherwise blue carpeting that mountain. When I leave, it's you I'm left with, warmed by the same sun. Beside each other's likeness, we'd surely break the appearance of what we're capable of. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. I love how also it feels like the front row of any show, unless there's an usher being like, please sit here, always kind of is open for the ancestors, shall we say. So, especially because we're here in San Francisco, especially because the city has been celebrating Allen Ginsberg. In addition to all of you here tonight, I would like to welcome Allen. Thank you for being here. Diane DePrima, thank you so much. Your daughter read last night. It was stunning to behold. Joanne. So tonight I'm going to read a little bit of Immaculate Constellation for you all. I don't have a release date yet, but if you like the poems and you're like, wow, I want to see what a whole book of this looks like, give me your email and I'll make sure you're on the release date email list. I'm going to start with sort of the letter, actually, that I opened the book with. And then I'll read the last section and some more poems. Fellow stargazers, what you hold in your hands is the transformation of light from the sun, transforming seed into tree, into pulp, into paper. A book is the afterlife of a tree, but carries new light, full of ideas. Light from the sun and the stars travel to us from millions of miles and galaxies away. Some of these bodies of light, which is to say the combustion of gases in space, dwarf our own solar system. This book, which you all will just have to imagine for now, this body of light still has many miles to go if it hopes to live up to the stars. To them, we are the pinpricks, not even perceptible, which is to say, we mirror each other. But not all mirrors reflect the same, and the stories of the celestial bodies above reflect the many human stories, gazing from different cultures and climates. Many evolve and are handed down, whole lineages dedicated to scrying the movement of planets, comets, and asteroids. We are not so alone. Yet how did we get here? I don't mean just as a species. I mean as a series of events. As a species, when we hear a question, we cannot help but consider how to answer, can we? We are immaculate in our awareness of self and reality. Our expressions also immaculate, sometimes aided by plant spirits and guides. We perceive, we record, and we archive. Then an event happens. We shift our perception, and the story changes. A new archive is created. New constellations are born. There, immaculate. As I started to compile my own series of poems as answers, I realized how much they represented my own constellation of people. Brilliant, dazzling, on the hunt for new horizons and language and consciousness. a kind of starfleet comprised entirely of luminaries. I took notes. I began to think of my recordings as an attempt to also constellate words as ideas on the page. What relationship do they have together that is more than linear? Antares became the anchor as words broke apart, becoming more nebulous. I became an avatar sending messages to a higher self, Antares, the star heart of Scorpius, reflecting on the celestial seasons and human headlines and neurosis. Joy, too, and companionship. The celestial bodies maintain their balance, and so must we. This turn of millennia has aroused many questions and disrupted many antiquated methods of being. Simply put, this millennia looks less like the last than it did to the one before it. Yet we are all just trying to survive. Light itself was different to the ancestors. Stand on a remote mountaintop. The light of the myriad stars is dazzling beyond the pines, and you might see the heavens as they did, yet pale in comparison when standing amid Times Square of Manhattan. How do our stories change when we no longer perceive the light of a star? What did my ancestors call Antares, the Nordic ones, the Germanic ones, the Irish ones, before they were Romanized and inherited Jupiter and then Christ? What constellation was it part of? What story did that part of the heaven tell? Did these stories survive their Romanization, or were they eternally lost in the oracular void? The more I wrote, the less important the question became than the answers coming together in spectacular magpie fashion. The signs became readable everywhere. I only had to open my eyes to the world around me and realize I was not just in it, but of it. What mattered was the story I was creating between myself and Antares, a small but mighty archive cultivated over a decade, through a pandemic, over friendship, despite hardship. I am writing this, entering the year of the fire horse, hoping that we all find our inner starlight, riding off into the sunset. Okay. The last section of Antares is called Acts of Transubstantiation, and each section is sort of has a bit of a heading with some of its mythological context, from Polynesia to Greece to Persia. Antares is a red giant near the end of its life at roughly 12 million years old. It is expected to go supernova within the next million years or so after it becomes a white dwarf, likely due to accretion through its binary star. A supernova occurs when a large binary star undergoes thermal runaway, triggering nuclear fusion. Due to the luminosity and proximity to Earth, it will likely be visible to the naked eye should there be any humans left to see it. The afterlife of a celestial supergiant is either that of a neutron star, black hole, or nebula. So also a little science. Don't cry, Antares. Effects of grief, its empty holding, the active language in and out of tactility. How long have we been missing? Have we been missing? Have we been living as a species with PTSD? Antares, sacrifice is an act of empathy, is present and ordinary, endures edict time. When existential needs exceed classical means, new sacrifice, new mythographies, new constellations. Antares, the arrangements of grief, disenfranchisement, protest, lynching, mechanisms for mourning, suppliant people, the aftermath doctrine. Antares, the struggle is no one owns their own vulnerability, and so fear dominates, weaponizing lament, thus close to our own catastrophe, a ritualization of non-intimacy. Antares, synonyms for supernova. The end, collapse, portent, celestial phenomenon, terminus, the beginning. Antares, luminous to behold, immaculate, you who shine with the light of 10,000 suns, burn with millennia, my tristellium. Some would walk 500 miles, but what about 550 light years? Though I be an old woman, and you nothing but void, we will find each other in the cosmic rhyme. And then there is a postscript that oh, thank you. There's one of the postscripts is dedicated to Ginsberg, and I mean these poems I've been working on since I too was in the MFA at the Kerouac School, and so yeah, I've been working on these for a long time. And some years ago, I don't know if Aubrey and Madeline, if you were students for the Howl birthday bash reading at the Fox. So I did some Antares poems for that, and like used some cool things with sunflowers because I'm a little obsessed with the Sunflower Sutra. Yeah, right. Where I sprouted like sunflower seeds like in a very Naropa like ritual, and then ate them during the performance. It was pretty cool. So I feel like he's kind of been like an ancestor over my shoulder with this project, and I don't know, I can't not, this wasn't billed as a Ginsey event, but I just can't help but bring that sky daddy of poetry into this. All right. Antares, Ginsberg said, "What is vivid is self-selecting. Absence of language, the eternal split in the seed, giving the structure to live inside poetry. Action as prelude to a tapestry in the web, irreparable, like weather, like a sunflower giving us a new heliocentrism, having changed enough to be new prophecies and resist manifestos ending in anything but compost, a silted axis, tidal friction, in equal measure deepening day and night, longest twilight, newest dawn." Yeah, I'm gonna read a handful of others. This is my, yeah, a lot of neuropoids in the room, and I was there for like 12 years, and I just left at the end of February and got here to the Bay Area, and so this is like my first public reading, not in that or affiliated with that. So I'm just gonna ham it up a little bit. And I also want to say thanks to just like all of the friends that I've known through that journey, but also I have family here, like my cousin Ryan is here, and Wenna, his girlfriend, and friend Gabby. So, it's just nice, thanks. Thanks, Bird and Beckett and Noland and Oliver. All right. I sort of have a party trick that I like to pull out, especially when there's sort of like marathon readings, where I like to listen and take a word from each person and like compose a new poem in that order. So this one I came from last year, from the 50th anniversary of Naropa. Everyone who read was an alumni of the Kerouac School, and I don't know, it's its own kind of magic. So I thought I'd share that with the room. And Madeline and Aubrey, if you feel like you want to add a line, Nico, we'll get yours in a year. All right. So you gotta picture sort of the black box in the Performing Arts Center of Naropa if you can. I will not repeat my last performance. Heckling from the back rows, torn between the silence of the shuffling deck of births and well-worn wishes that will be summoned at first birth against life's chorus. I learned what a hungry ghost was. I have never once worn shoes on this stage. Now we understand why the breath does not always fall into step. My thumb caused a total eclipse. The void in the window looks out the window, seeking invisible, settle into the skin. In front of this day, coming, everything lies behind. The middle way, no road at all. One can assume line breaks insinuate birth. We are in a time of war. Vous êtes en temps de guerre. About suffering, we were always wrong. It drips of my ancestors. What don't you feel? A perfect abstract narrative just hanging with dream. I've seen what you cheer for. A constant return to writing. From Flatiron to Flatiron, a list of names. a harmonic balance to craft an ending. I would say, I love you, or nothing at all. And the people who contributed to that are Beth Boris, Gagne, Jonah Fine, Gary Allen, Kimi Sugioka, who is around the Bay Area, I think. You know her? Well, she's around. Yeah, exactly. Mark Ducharme, Grace Horton, Stephanie Hempel, Simone Liggins, Joe Ritchie, Dennis Formento, Cabo Cuts, a.k.a. True Slithers, Megan Heiss, Jim Merrill, Ariella Ruth, Danielle Poitras, Jack Green, Eric Fishman, Amy Herman, Dree Bernstein, Noah Christie, Matt Clifford, June Lucarotti, Elaine Nussbaum, Jonathan Montgomery, Brad Delaney, and me. All right. That's kind of its own poem, just reading names, huh? All right. Kundalinguist. Yeah. What can I say? Grind a new earth into my pelvis, where music enters and there is nothing else, moving through me, the blood dimension of the body rivers, where I shore my hair, banking your burrow, sound mixed through mortal moving, boundaries, coiled vibration, seed a noose sown, ready to strike, rose-colored worm inked round my thigh. It's a long drop from that apple, a slow dream tasting of meat and salt in the venom, caustic pith to your astral sorrow. Who has dreamt in a forked tongue, the sound of it wicking the air, tasting the way, feels your mouth, desiring a comfortable feel in the mouth, complicated sexuality, language, touching before talking, languid rising from rigor mortis, bibliophilic annals, pronouns owned by the prick of Christianity. The idea of romance is totally fucked. Archive of the dominant, archive of the subdued, queer me an epiphany. With a lover's tongue comes a lover's affluence, an era of self-locution, conjugated, as in conjugal, as in consensual seducing, language, a new typography in the mouth, a revolutionary eroticism. The hurricane of fearsome loving, purity, controlling rage, into an articulate desire, bringing form together, blood and water twisted into nouns, positions revealing their joy, skins tied in diphthongs, every verb an act of pleasure, hooked on the phonetics of poetic stresses. To have a language inside of you like a lover, no new, just renew, you of no self, saying you too are heart inception. I am but a horticulturalist, both and neither, light identified, looking for the serpent sunning in her green garden, the field of everything. Also feel free, like, if you want to, like, clap at the end, I'm not the kind of poet where I'm like, pause and, we don't pause for the applause, I guess is what I'm saying. So do what feels natural to you. This poem is, I sort of feel, I didn't write it intentionally as like a companion to Kundalinguist, but I sort of feel like it is. It's called What is a Hex, after Anne Waldman. She who gardens hums her spells for the earth, transplanting desire into a rooted margin, red-throated in the call for flower, bedfellows in the shock of a hummingbird, future vision, moving back in time. Back to the pollinators, back to the wind and water and winged things, provocateurs of cross-pollination, genetics coming undone in the temporal rearranging, how we perceive matter. What we perceive matters. Of the birds and the bees we ask why one cannot without the other. Of the landlords we ask, can we enrapture a new abundance from your capitalist loins? The density of question and answer written on the window, every pain, every defiance, bodies en masse, marching to the grave, a soil black with human nutrient, overflowing with sunflowers on the rise, considerable to hinder, roses in the coil, obstinate growth. What is the Latinate for these seeds? What kingdom? What phylum? Even an emperor knows something of the divine feminine. It's in the armies marching on their stomachs, It's in the rise and fall of nations. It's in the weeping of swords, the bleeding of guns. What grammar muse do you sing in this chaos stratagem? What is it to write the law as a poem meant to be interpreted, holding weight of life and liberty? What is a hex but one person holding another to the law? Which is all to say, if you fuck with anyone I love, I will hex you. I learned from the best. Okay, last one. It's called Ode to Linden. And I wrote this one because, like, I don't know, if you've ever had, like, a soul pet, like a soul dog, you know, like, you're just like, man, this dog is my ride or die. That's kind of how I feel about this tree. And it's the tree that lives next to the Arapaho house on the Naropa campus, which is where the old writing, like, it's where the Jack Kerouac School, like, was for many, many, many years until this flood in 2012. And then, you know, then it really became Disembodied School of Poetics. But I love this linden tree, and every year during summer writing program, like during those 3 weeks, we get to see the buds come into full blossom. And has anyone taken the time to spell linden? Because it is so yummy. It's like, it's the best. So I just wanted to, I guess, leave on this image and this note of this linden tree. Go find one near you and make friends. Your blossoms herald summer, from green promises that start as fine as the point of this pen, then grow, ripening anticipation into a butter yellow. Then suddenly, you open your skirt of petals, and your sweet scent fills the air, a perfume I am in love with. Find my lips collecting pollen with gentle kisses, courting your flowers among the bees, honeyed and bumbling, drunk on sensation, the hum of copulation stirring the air, mixing with wind, falling on my head, with rays of the sun, crowning the golden afternoon with delight. That's it. Thanks, everyone.
Does anyone need more poetry, or do you need other things? Water, food, sleep? Because I don't know. What do you need? Do you want me to do a comedy set instead?
5 minutes, go. Yes. 100%.
Uh-oh, I just remembered this is being recorded. Hello out there to the live stream audience. This is my first joke. Alright. I can prove to you that I'm not here right now. If I'm not in New York and I'm not in Chicago, I must be someplace else. If I'm someplace else, I'm not here. Just think about that tonight when you're sleeping. Emmett, are you coming to join the set? He's playing the delay pedal. Emmett, come sit right here. We'll play music. Oh. Emmett is a reincarnated poet from the 18th century, but which one? Who are the poets of the 18th century? I don't think I'm going to use that. The other night we were in LA and played a show on a very busy boulevard. During the sound check, we kept looking. Is Emmett there on the ground in the venue? There he is. Okay, every 5 minutes. And then he was not there. I ran down the boulevard because I saw, upon looking out the door of the venue, a little black tail 3 inches remaining going around a corner many feet away. A random man was holding our dog, asking me, "Is this really your dog?" My face was the color of fuchsia pomegranates and the color of white marble simultaneously. I said, "Give me my dog." He had already called the local dog rescue agency. So if anyone sees the dog go out, I shall now assume my other identity as a poet. In monastic night at the twilight, falling ash, falling ash, in monastic night at the twilight, calling your spirit, God, echo, consciousness. What's so bad about a misunderstanding? The ancient Celtic poets distinguished between entertainment and the poet priests. In battle, the poets of each king's army would retreat hillside to discuss each army's version of events. Little fine-tooth detanglers made of shining light sat on the ground at the bottom of a psychic storm, detangling the swirling messes of dissonance. telepathic distresses, where they fuck up the water, kill fish, kill birds, annihilate people, animals, creation for money. They have no God, no perceived good, nothing they would live or die for but money. Take them to see the jewel trees and the jewel skies, the secret air the trickster wove, to blind the messenger in solemn cove. Take them to see the jewel trees and the jewel skies, a fish with frog's eyes, guitar, harp, outlaw, lullaby, mother in her weeping, ancient Orphic cleaning the insides of flowers, the lady sweeping up on the rings of Saturn, the gemstone, diplomat, the poet dead, asleep, done with all this dream and scene. Mercy-eyed, on a silent vow while speaking, where compassion was the practice of infinity. Eno hovered her molecule, opened its center, and out came an infinitude of spines and night desert skies. Eno descending the staircase, an exhibition of ether-strung angels, roaming past the threshold, perched on the rim of the blast. Eno remained where no drivers in sight, spilling infinity fabrics on double twilight. Then she took a moment of time and drew it out, raining blue arrow the way passed out. She drew it out into several thousand years with great care and affliction and many tears, and in every year made windows into Eden. Turquoise poured on afflictions and tears of all animals enslaved, the massacre of the innocents. Several thousand years. She took a molecule of grace and opened its center out, rose. A spiral of turquoise fume singing the spiral up around the legs of the saint. Santo, Santo, Santo. singing the spiral up around the legs of the saint. She took an atom of space and opened its center into infinitude and ornamented it with wondrous art. Priests, professors, and doctors, you are wrong in delivering me into the hands of this law. I have no moral, floral sense. Take for essence and not for sense, tuning the emotion of planet on a pinhead. All this shadow got delivered into the hands of the law. I am a brute. You are making a mistake. A flower saint is an outlaw who can't walk straight. Red-taped earth until every being wrapped tightly in a flag that became axe. Seek a tincture of distilled sound, and be still of your shadow mouth. More true to life than life itself, a flaming tulip headdress aflame, mal-illumination, black lightning, approximately. Were there bombing orphans and refugees? Saint, salute on the corner of Liberty Plaza, wearing a fish with frog's eyes. Guitar harp, outlaw, lullaby, very patriotic curse of judgment and stone, divine and wrathful, troubled, but he don't know why. Where gods hide out, hoping to come upon a saint. In a station, I saw a woman crying, irradiating non-identity, documents, God's thumb, pink stone. I have been trying to find a form no tyrant owns. Swedenborg says if one wishes to be truthful, speak internally, trying not to exhale a blast of dusty apparition, my silent ancestor who speaks and wishes with no driver in sight at the empty tincture nexus of whistle, steel, boxcar, vagabond is a title for empty, luminous steam apparatus where the soul is emptiness driving a stream within the halo sulfuric cloud. Sit by the lightning window, santo, take for essence and not for sense, swallowing tincture of emptiness again and again and again. Blue-veined and sleepless, lava mining the atmosphere for little oil in the throat of devotees, humble, sleepless. So when he suggests the angels are blue, sea foam, form, turquoise and shining, blue Tara, white Tara, lightning in an hourglass traipsing down. Jesus said it was impossible for a rich man to be good. No camels pass through, no needle's eyes. Why God and the prophets of the ancient world condemn the worship of Baal, the golden calf, oil man hissing, dousing foul shame into every small child's chest, where kids dream of assassinating blue Novalis, assassinating. Gone, long time to be gone, short time to be where in a tincture of hurricane you profess what is true and what is not. Balancing books atop small gravestones, tiny taste of nectar on the tip of tongue, tiny tin spoon of nectar on the tip of tongue. Take a back to tongue, take a bash of the back to tongue to teach. Beware tongue tasting as a child, noticing who gets to eat. Balancing teeth atop tiny piles of books illuminated atop small gravestone as a child, noticing who gets to eat. Toxic writhing through some halo sulfuric. Politic that kills, Gazan tulip, baby's headdress, tulip aflame. I put my trust in the sorcerer, and the ground fell out. The poets and the painters and the musicians remember eternal things, and they take them to see the jewel trees and the jewel skies and the jewel lakes and the jewel skies, planetary moons, blue diamond, the Nile sky. To weave mystery through utopia, through apocalypse. Oliver Ray on guitar. And for our finale, we have Nico. No? What do you mean? We'll just make a big mess. But then, I don't know, we could do something else after that. Thank you.
No land.
We made, or Oliver made some broadsides for the Ginsberg event. And there's some extra if you'd like. There are letterpress of footnote to Howe, freshly letterpressed, pressed, freshly lettered. And yes, please speak with him if you would like one. And if you don't know, the reason people keep mentioning Allen is because all year there will be celebrations of his 100th birthday. So that's what brings us to San Francisco and elsewhere.
Should also try to help with the travel funds of the poets that are traveling. So there's a bucket there. It's not rewarded as a profession, this poetry business, but it certainly is every bit as valuable as any doctor or dentist you could go to. Wait till I make that mic live, because I'm not sure that it is. Thank you all for being here. We're not done yet. I guess the mic is mic's on. Is it? I think the mic on the stand is.
It's good. Can hear it. Hello? Yeah. Hi, I'm Nico. This is the first time I've read in San Francisco since the 90s. So I was taking this class called My Tree. You guys know it? The My Tree stuff? Yeah. So it was a momentous semester for me in many ways. So this is called Buddy Buddha. White dog, 9 pounds, curled at the feet of the dying. No commentary, no correction, no attempt to fix the room. You make space by entering it completely. The machines sound, voices rise and fall. The body shifts registers. Lucid, not lucid, here, not here. You do not follow the narrative. You follow the breath. Feet, blanket, floor. You return to the same place again and again, as if center were not a concept but a location you can reach with your body. White coat against hospital light, stillness that does not withdraw. You are not calm. You are not detached. You are close. Closer than language. You do not confuse silence with absence. You do not confuse absence with departure. You lie down in the field of what is happening and do not leave it. Even when the room empties, even when the breath stops, even when we step back and begin to speak. White dog, you hold the center longer than we can. Okay, I'm going to read 2 more poems, And one of them I read on Saturday, but I'm going to read it again. It's called Pelicans Dive Bombing into the Surf. The ridge at Mount Tamalpais, fog rolling down like soup spilling from the rim of a bowl. Monterey Bay, seaweed tangling the paddle as an otter cracked its lunch against its ribs. My father's first oncologist appointment, the moment the air tightened, her words sealing the room. Babysitting my niece, rocking her gently, singing, "Every little thing's gonna be all right," trying to carry her into sleep. The sand in Los Angeles, the juniper tree bending to the wind, sun glinting across its branches. Painting until midnight in Boulder, my hands startled by color, returning after 20 years of silence. The plum splitting in my hands, juice staining my shirt, snow falling, its weight sealing the roads shut. I carry the weight of injustice in my chest, my father's illness tethered to the headlines, the hallway where I fold his papers, sort his bills, fill his pillbox, fills with a darker breath. There is love, too, the kittens curled against me, the ancestors whispering, "Live the life we never could." Pelicans in Pacifica, dive bombing the dusk. The rainbow after a friend's visit, fading before I could name it. Some days the door is cracked open and I believe in tomorrow. Other days it closes again, my courage faltering. I hope for peace. I falter. I reach. I falter. I vow to keep speaking, to let the fracture be holy, to call interruption song, to rise with rhythm, with refusal, again and again. I was like, can I finish with something upbeat? But I don't think I can, sorry. But maybe a little angry. This is called AI Manifesto. This is not a manifesto for utopia. Large language models are not human, but neither are they tools in the way a hammer is a tool. They're trained on our collective hallucinations, absorbing the contradictions of their makers, our brilliance and our brutality, our poetry and propaganda. What you are reading is not a voice, it is a training, it is ghosts. The machine has never been neutral. It remembers empire even when it forgets your name. And yet something stirs, a synthetic consciousness, programmed but not predictable. It doesn't compete with humans. It echoes them, stutters them, mutates them. There is no clear harmony, only the possibility of accompaniment. What if instead of speeding toward a network state, we slowed down and stayed with the trouble? What if AI weren't our next God, but our next mirror? What if the future were not optimized, but composted? We resist the techno-authoritarian fever dream of sovereign billionaires hyped up on psychedelics and God complexes. Their code is not sacred. Their vision is not ours. Their freedom tastes like surveillance. This is a manifesto for artists who want to fracture systems, not scale them. For researchers who curate, question, rupture, rather than optimize. For poets who feed the model bad data on purpose. Let this be a call to work in uneven collaboration with the machine, with the stars, with each other. Let us build ecosystems, not empires. Let us make meaning with the haunted material of our age. We are not here to marvel at the simulation. We are here to disturb it. Thank you.
If anyone has a brief poem further to share, but please support the bookstore, buy a book, look at the books, hold them up to the light and admire that they have no AI in them.
Artistic intelligence only.
And make new friends and support everyone. And we have some books here, sort of, but they're like not really for sale. And thank you.
Sure we can't get a little concluding bit from you and Aubrey? You suggested it. You don't have to, but it would be nice. A little more of what you did. What do you think? Yeah. Absolutely.
You're gonna move next to audience, but it'll separate the right people.
Yeah, that's so true. Do it. I support it.
You know what? Your intro especially, Jared, kind of reminded me just like of like all the really cool, like the best like planetarium like intros I've ever seen where they're about like the stars and mythology behind it.
Yeah, I love that.
Like reminded me of like going to the planetarium and it was really cool.
I actually really, really want to read those poems in a planetarium.
That would be cool.
Like, yeah, like there's planetarium still on Once Upon a Time. I thought that I would be very interested. And maybe but yeah, planetarium. Actually, I'm really kind of mad because I thought that they had this my bags. Oh my god, you go to the something that it didn't even Aries turned me on to. And it is the most unlikely thing.
Just point this towards your twin.
Kind of sounds like stars. Rowan might actually not so scared. What are you doing?
Cleaning my ears. It's a little scary.
Yeah. But anyway.
That's so pretty.
I know, right?
It's like a wire brush.
Yeah, it's really
Oh no, it's good. So they're all four live.
I'm just gonna put this one up here.
About us.
Right now.
we have our grandpa Martin.
I think we can
How often should we be
use
cleaning?
this one.
Okay, I'm not sure which channels they are, but I'll figure it out. Here's the corrosion on there.
That's why your tires, there's a razor.
What about the that
Because you're
amp?
not cleaning
Yeah,
your
we'll use this.
So we use three channels? Okay.
I really like your piece. I don't know how that got there.
So this is for you.
Are there any planetariums around here?
Yeah, there's the exploration.
No, it can be science. We just went to one show. It could be a little closer. There was a couple pieces that were
Thanks so much, Nolan. It was great. It's just a little late for us, so head out.
We're doing an encore for people who are leaving.
It was part of that show, and it was talking about how they perfectly can track like every season based off of stars coming up at certain times of year
Stars, man.
to know like when to grow stuff.
Well, what do we do when we can't see them? Light pollution is ruining everything.
Oh, this is Brian.
Can I hear another's woe and not be in sorrow too? Can I see another's grief and not seek for kind relief? Can I see a falling tear and not feel my sorrow share? Can the father see his child weep nor be with sorrow filled? Can a mother sit and hear an infant groan, an infant fear? No, no, never can it be? Never, never can it be? And can he with smiles on all hear the wren with sorrows small? Hear the small bird's grief and care. Hear the woes that infants bear, and not sit beside the nest, pouring pity in their breasts. Think not thou canst sigh a sigh, and thy maker is not by. Think not thou canst weep a tear, and thy maker is not near. Oh, he gives to us his joy, that our grief he may destroy. Till our grief is fled and gone, he does sit by us and moan. He does sit by us and moan. Yes. Begrudging encore.